Hey everyone, I'm here with Jay D'Souza. You may have known him from his YouTube channel, or you might have seen him on the pod consoles that we've had recently with Philip. Or if you're a longtime follower, you may have seen him back in 2023. We did an interview. Can you believe that? It's been a long, long time, right, Jay? How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's crazy when you say 2023 now. It feels
Yeah,
so far away, but holy yeah.
that was the last
Um,
interview we did.
that's awesome. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
interviewing you in the very first apartment on one of like the first weeks that I was down here, I think,
Oh
too.
wow. See,
Yeah.
it's time flies, man. Time flies.
Time flies. Time flies. Thank you so much for having me. This is
Oh,
super
of course.
humbling. You're like a living legend in the space, right? I consider myself an OG and you're the extra OG man for sure.
The OOG.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it. Well, thank you. Yeah, yeah. In fact, I think that's where we kind of connect on is like we've been doing this for so long, multiple decades of doing this, and yeah, we can relate not only with what we do, but like how long we've lived. Back in the 90s, we've been
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of stuff. It's so cool. Well, I wanted to have you on for a couple of reasons. First, because we haven't done this for about 2 years. I think it was October 2023 was
Mhm.
that I checked back, and we did something for Q4, and that exactly why I want to have you on is because we're getting close to Q4. I think a lot of people want to get into POD, or if they're in POD, they want to like ramp up for Q4. And you got something that I think can really help with that. And I wanted to use this video to talk about that. Is that okay?
That is absolutely awesome, and I'm
Uh,
super humbled that you're even willing to shine light on this. So,
Of
yeah,
course, of course. But before, I think for those that may have missed that, the first question I have is who is Jay D'Souza? Like, can you tell us a little bit about you and your accomplishments and all of that?
sure. Like, who the heck is this guy,
Yeah,
right?
who's this guy?
Sharing this channel on Juna with Juna. Yeah, no, I'm Jay. I've been a graphic designer for oh man since 2000, so
Mhm.
25-ish years now. I started print on demand back in 2012, I believe,
Wow.
way before it was like a called print on demand or in a household name, right before people knew what was going on. But I opened my Etsy shop in 2013 after leaving the corporate grind. It was like a toxic corporate culture for me. I was managing at the number one publisher in the country in Canada, managing the graphic services department there. So 144 graphic designers was who I was managing. But because I was one of the lowest and youngest managers on that echelon, uh, not protected by a union, I was the first one to get let go when layoffs came. Right, just a matter of fact. So I jumped ship and ended up for 5 years. I was in the IT department at TD, and that was like 7 years or seven to seven, 12 hours of days flipping to nights, like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., then 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., full throttle stress, super toxic to the point where, um, you know, being a little vulnerable here, but it got to a point where it was manifesting physically. So not only like IBS type stuff, but I ended up, I've now got, permanent kind of issues because of it. But at the same time, I ended up having to self medicate just to kind of cope and, having one or two beers just to get to bed at night. And that slowly turned into four or five. And that slowly turned into easy six sometimes because I needed to fall asleep by midnight to be up by 4:30 to hit the road by 5:15, or I would be late for work for a 7 o'clock start because of traffic in the greater Toronto area. So it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like the anxiety of sleeping in would keep me up and I couldn't. So the only way to do that was to have a couple of drinks. And it was not a place that I want to ever be. And it was just, turning me into not a very nice guy at all. So I totally jumped ship. I've been selling t-shirts honestly since I was a kid in high school, but then I went full throttle and did that as a profession in 2013. Hit my first 100K year back in 2015, which seems like literally a decade ago now. It seems like forever. Eventually hit 250,000 shirts sold, and we moved down to Belize with my wife and I, my dog Tonka. We have a Great Dane that we brought with us, and I just kind of got me into coaching now because I just saw too many people stuck in the same kind of situation that I was in, and I don't wish that on anybody. And I want people to get more out of life and not feel like they're stuck for another 15 years paying that mortgage, or putting so much stock into something but not living their life now. Yeah, I could go on forever, but I mean, that's who I am. I want everybody to just have a little bit more freedom, however you can get there. And I'm hoping to help you get there.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. I think I heard that story before, but it's nice to hear it again, just to kind of see your journey and exactly how, like, you were in that spot and a lot of people were, and then you got out, and oh man, that's so cool that you can take that as a learning experience and kind of have that empathy for other people too, and do that. So I'm glad you got out and glad that you are able to do that. It's so cool.
Hey,
Before, yeah, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say thanks, because it's like, you hit a kind of crossroads, right? And you can
Hmm.
continue on that path and it's going south very fast, or
Hmm.
you have the power to make the change in your life. You just have to want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody can if they want to. And having a good mentor or coach or whatever definitely helps too. Um, I want to talk about the name first of all before we get into what it is. Your channel, Jay's Way, and this is what we're going to talk about in this video is Jay's Way Inner Circle. How did you come up with those two names? I'd love to hear the story behind that as well.
So Jay's Way started on, honestly, I got into the YouTube thing really to kind of put a stop, or at least call out some of the stuff that's out there. Like, the reality is that you're not, just because a YouTube thumbnail says you're going to make 10,000 K, $10,000 or 10K a month. The reality is that most people are not going to achieve that. So I just wanted to kind of set a precedent that, what is realistic, and what has worked for me is literally Jay's way. It's my way. It is not, I'm not pretending to say it's the best way or the only way, but it's a guaranteed way that has worked. And it's worked for me. And I want to make sure that I can at least, help people in a way that I know how. And I'm not kind of just reading out of a book and then regurgitating over here. I'm telling you what has worked for me for, over a decade now, which is still mind blowing to say. But, and then the inner circle was just kind of like, it spawned out of um, my Facebook group, my Etsy print on demand Facebook group. So, people wanted more access to me. They wanted to know if I, did one-to-one coaching, and I didn't really do any of that at a time. There was a previous time where I was doing 30-day Etsy challenges about 6, 7 years ago. We did 3 in a row. And that was like usually the month of October, ramping up for Q4, but people just wanted something more from me. So I just asked members of my group, like, if I created a membership, would you guys pay to play? Like, so I can dedicate all my time to it, but make sure that there's at least a little bit of skin in the game. Because we all know, no matter what we preach, if you don't pay for the advice, it doesn't count as professional advice. So people are less likely to heed it and put it into action. So then I just, everything's about the community for me. It's all about the members, right? So I just said, hey, I made a post. Okay, the membership's going forward. This is what I want to offer. I need a name. What do you guys think? And, one of the members, I think it was Carla, suggested the Inner Circle. And, I just kind of thought about it. There was a bunch of names there. My wife, Stacy, had a funny one. It was like POD something, but it was like, just a joker, and she spelt it PEEOHDEE. And I was like, okay, riot, got a lot of laughs, but we try to keep it light. But yeah, it was honestly the community decided on the Inner Circle. It felt like it was like exclusive, but not snobby, I guess. It's just like, yeah, a tight little inner circle. So the community, the answer is like, honestly, everything that has done well for me has been all about the people, and the people chose the name. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love how they come up with name, like how names start, because definitely a story behind that. Um,
Hmm.
can you give us? I kind of jumped ahead and just went into like inner circle without talking about it. You kind of mentioned it a little bit, but can you tell us kind of at a high level, like what is the inner circle and kind of who's it for, really?
It's literally for anybody. Predominantly I say on the on my webpage there, it's kind of like, it's for the Etsy seller and Amazon merch seller, because those are the two things that I do. But it's not limited to that. It's ultimately for any POD seller who wants to make better designs. So my membership is all about live coaching, hands-on coaching, making designs that actually sell. And we have mindset baked into everything. And it's not like the woo-woo fluffy mindset stuff. It's the psychology behind why things sell. So everybody will teach you how to do something, but not everybody tells you why. And until you understand why, the little nuances that make somebody say, I want this design over this one, without really knowing why, they just like this one over here a little bit better. Those are the little details that are going to make or break a sale, and that actually make or break sales every single day. So I want to like get people into a mindset where they start, kind of like that muscle memory of understanding the why and doing everything intentionally. Kind of like, a kata in karate. You just do it over and over until it becomes reflex, right? Like muscle memory. People in my membership have even said, like, now every time I design, I hear Jay's voice, do this, adjust the spacing, all those things, right? Because they matter. Yeah, high level, it's kind of I'm terrible at high level, but we, ultimately trying to make everybody get better at design and make designs that actually sell. And we have, like, guest speakers. I'm not the only one here. I have resident speakers. So we have Mark in there who's all about automation. So this is a guy who has macros set up. So if you don't know what that is, it just hits a button and it does things on your screen. And this is not AI agents. This is totally different. He will get like 10 listings from a GPT prompt all the way through listed on Etsy in like an hour and a half. So his day is done between 6 and 7:30 in the morning. His 10 listings are up and he's free to explore other things for the rest of his day. Carla's organization and optimization and Etsy ads optimization. Emma's in there doing Shopify and social. She's been a whiz at taking her Etsy shop, flipping it over to like the standalone store. And I think within her first like 30 days on Shopify, she hit like a ridiculous number, like $25,000 kind of thing in revenue. So these are all members who have kind of surfaced and become really good at specific elements. And again, with Jay's Way, I don't pretend to know everything, and I'm not going to, read a book and teach you out of it. I'm going to teach you what I know, and I'm going to absolutely bring in people or empower my members to express and learn and teach what they've learned and gone along the way. So I don't know, super humbling. But of course we have, everything else that a lot of people do out there, like the trend reports, things like that. But one of the biggest, I think, components is once, twice a week, we have the design hot seat. So you can submit your design. I'll get my hands on it. We'll deconstruct it, rebuild it, make it better. And because you've had a hand in the design, you get to list that on Etsy. That's yours. There's no extra charge or anything like that. We do that regularly. But it's also, all these principles apply to Amazon merch. I do all my research on Etsy, and, my Amazon merch sales for tier 8,000, I only have 1,600 designs, but I've sold over, I think, 135 or 140,000 shirts now. Right. So for me, it's not all about the tier. It's about the quality over the quantity. And we do everything with intention, like I said. So, oh man, it just keeps going. But I think the best part about it for me is the how it's been for me more than my members. And it's kind of selfish that way, but just being able to see people have life-changing results has been so fulfilling for me that I think that is the most important part to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I've been there at least a couple of times, maybe 3 times, teaching to your group, and it's been awesome. The people there, I love everybody with the questions and the participation. It's been really great. You have a great community, so I
They're
love
super,
it. Yeah.
super engaged, and we trust each other. In
Yeah.
print on demand, especially, like, people are so proprietary over their designs and all their things. They don't want to show anything, right?
Right.
But we share our stuff. We talk
Mhm.
about our niches. We don't
Yeah.
hide any of it. There's no gatekeeping. We
Yeah.
empower and we help. I mean, the best way to grow is to get suggestions from other members who are going through the same thing as you, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
I think everybody rises with the tide, right? Like that's kind of how it works there. So
you
pretty
got it.
cool. I wanted to ask, like, how long has Inner Circle been around, and can you share maybe a couple more success stories from it?
Yeah, so I think we only launched in June, early June or mid June of 2024. So it's only been around a year. We're at around 230 members, so we're growing a lot faster now, which is awesome. But it takes some time to work out the kinks. So I did what I preach, right? We launched messy, we launched quick, and we ironed out kinks along the way, and we let the community kind of lead how we go. And I feel a year in now, we are dialed in. Things are, just growing in a way that I never imagined. I didn't know how it was going to all play out, right? I just wanted to be more available to everybody, but it's been awesome. Some super crazy wins. We have members hit $1,000 revenue days.
Wow.
Hit their. Some have gone from spinning their wheels for a year or two. Was under 100 sales, finally hit 500 sales, in a few months. Like I said, one member hit 25,000 in sales in, like, I think it was like 32 days or 31 days. And I have another member who only at 2 hours a day part-time doing mostly digitals, she was able to get to $10,000 a month for real, not some clickbaity kind of thing. So
Mhm.
um, what matters, I think, most is that we've built a community on trust, though. That's the biggest one, I think. Um, People come for the design training and the mindset stuff, and they stay for the vibe. I think that's yeah, you know what I mean? Like, people
Yeah.
just enjoy identifying and hanging out. I mean, it just feels good. We even have co-working calls, so it's kind of like being in a cubicle with somebody, you know what I mean? Like a Zoom call that's on in the background kind of thing. So it's kind of because solopreneuring and print on demand, this journey can be like super, super lonely, right? So even
Mhm.
having somebody like a colleague that you could bounce ideas off of, or say, hey, what do you like? What do you think I should do this X, Y, or Z, or ABC over here, right? Those are the things that I think that make us unique. And I think those qualify to me as wins as well.
Cool. Cool. You mentioned a bunch already. So my next question was going to be like, how is your membership different from everybody else's? And you mentioned a bunch already. Is there anything else that like differentiates Inner Circle from some of the other memberships out there? Of course, Inner Circle is you, and you get you and all your experience, and then all the guests that you talked about. Anything else?
Man, so I had a feeling this question was coming, so I literally asked this in my group. I said,
Yeah.
what makes our membership unique? So I asked
Yeah.
my members. I asked my
Awesome.
members, and not even
Perfect.
like literally an hour ago. So if you're cool with it, I'll share my screen real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
So, I
This is
mean, people,
proof right here.
yeah, I'm not making this stuff up. So let me see here.
It's
Present.
it's great when you can hear straight from people who are using it, right?
Well, I don't want to,
Testimonials. Yeah.
yeah, it's not hearsay, right?
Yeah.
It's not just me saying we're awesome. I'm just going to show you entire
Nice.
screen,
Yeah.
share.
Awesome. I'll add it to the stage.
Yeah,
Boom.
so literally, I'm like, let me know. I know I have my own answers, but I'd love to know what you all think. So please let me
Okay.
know. I literally asked this like an hour ago. This member says your honesty. You tell it like it is, which in turn helps us. Sugarcoating anything is nice, but not helpful. But you're respectful at the same time. Having been in two other similar groups, one is too, I guess, live and not honest, and the other is honest but rude about it. So that kind of sucks.
Oh no.
Uh, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
the wide variety of topics, you can't even get through all the material because it's so much. You're an expert on POD clearly, but you're willing to bring in other experts to broaden and refine a topic.
Oh, nice.
This membership, so much diversity and learning, design, ads, social media, all kinds of workflows. The community is amazing. Always someone to help with a question. Brief experience in the group is that the ethos is amazing. And this is what I was kind of talking about. Like, the vibe
Mm.
alone is totally different.
Hmm.
I feel like we start to attract,
Hmm.
like-minded people, really, right? I
Yep.
felt
Yep.
like I was just visiting and not integrated in other memberships, even as welcoming as they were. This feels like all of us are actually learning at whatever level we're at and getting the feedback we need. We were all new once, and each of us is still learning, and that's
That's
100%. Like,
awesome.
when I
That's
have
awesome.
you on, when I have Philip on, we have a few other people that we've had on,
Hmm.
actually several. I learn from every single one of you, right, every day. Cultivated a strong, caring community, vast library of trainings, and we have treasure maps too. So I've got a seven
Just
page. a stage Etsy treasure map that'll take you
Wow,
from, oh yeah, and it's long. I can show a preview of it too.
that's pretty cool.
Um, and then I have a 3-stage one for Amazon merch, because there's just not as much to go on there, but it's all the things to tick off. So no matter where you are in your journey, there's always something you can do to move forward, even if you're not feeling creative right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Wow. This is so cool to see how interactive your community is too. Like you just asked this an hour ago and look at all that. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
they're
it's
in there.
humbling, dude. Like I was getting emotional reading this stuff.
Yep.
Welcoming, supportive, non-judgmental. Most importantly, Jay makes himself available and approachable. Definitely
Aw,
a giver. Oh yeah, it just goes on, and
it's
I mean,
going. We don't
this
have to
guy.
read all of them, but there's
No,
obviously a lot of good in this
yeah.
community. Yeah,
So
that's awesome. So cool, man. Love to hear it. All right. Let's see if another question I had about the community. I'm trying to give everybody kind of like an idea of what is Jay's inner circle. So the next question I have is, if you miss a session or so, you have those live calls. Are they recorded and can people watch them later? Like the community can watch those later?
yeah, absolutely everything is recorded. So you have, the luxury of going back, watching it, pausing it, taking notes, whatever you want to do, you can watch over and over and over for the duration of your membership. Everything we have, even if you were to join, for example, today, you'd have access to absolutely everything we've had for the last 12 plus months. So yeah.
Sweet, sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Last question is, well, second to last question is Q4 is coming up. Do you have any big plans for Q4 in your community? Anything special that's you're thinking about?
Yeah, so we got well, a couple of challenges. I've already created 2 GPTs that are like changing the game, I think. So I have my ideal customer profiler that I put out there into YouTube land for everybody, but I also have a niche doctor. So to backtrack from figuring out your ideal customer, first it would help if you could figure out your niche. And that's, I
Mm,
think, the biggest problem that a lot of people have when starting out. They don't know where to start. So that said, those components coupled with kind of getting ready for Q4, because Q4 prep starts now. It doesn't
hmm
start, September or October. It's literally now. Christmas stuff is already selling. So the
hmm
time for testing is the first half of the year. The time for implementation and moving forward is, from July onward, literally. So, yeah, we got some challenges coming up. Our trend reports are already focusing on fall and Q4 really. Yeah, and we got some contests and some more live giveaways too to help people move forward too. Like I'm going to be giving away, we like, even last week we gave away 3 lifetime memberships to Anywhere POD. They're like $500 a
Wow.
pop. Yeah, $500 a pop. And next week we're giving away a couple of Profit Tree full like annual subscriptions as well, because I think these are things that are going to help move you forward, right? Trying to arm you with the tools to move you forward to the best of the ability. So lots of cool things coming, but yeah, we're ready to get, put the nose to the grindstone and get moving now.
That's awesome. So cool. All right. My very last question is if I missed anything. So if we talked about Inner Circle, I think we kind of get a feel for it. Like it's a membership, it's your membership. It's really cool in there and the kind of the vibe of it. Is there anything that I missed that we didn't cover, and are maybe any deals that is happening?
So I mean, we could go on for days about what's in there as far as content, but I
Yeah.
really would just tell you to go to, Juno will have a link down below. Just go
Okay.
read through the page, right? It's just way too much to talk about on one show.
Yeah.
But I do have a 7-day free trial that you guys can start. So it's not one where you're going to get billed or whatever. It's going to cost you $0 until day 7 is over, and then you can, then you'll start the billing there. So you can check it out for totally free. You will have full access to absolutely everything. I've never offered this before. I just want to put it out there that let come look around, right? Kick some
Yeah.
tires and see if you like it. It's not
hmm
going to be for everybody, so that's okay too. I'm not here to be a used car salesman. If you like it, come hang out, stick around. I think honestly, in my humble opinion, it's the best bang for buck membership out there. I mean, you're talking like less than $9 a week, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, come check it out. I mean, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain, right?
That's awesome. Well, thanks. Thanks for offering my followers and subscribers that. I think that's really cool. I don't know if any other membership actually does that, where you can just full access just try it out, see if you like it. If not, then no worries. I like that it's Jay's way too. Like you mentioned in the beginning, it's what you teach works for you, and some people will learn that way, and other people's learn another way. And I think that's great. That that's why I wanted to have you on too, because like I teach a certain way, you teach a certain way, other people, and I think it depends on how you learn and what works for you. I think there's lots of good in everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Two things on that note. It's
yeah,
not like school where you have to, contribute enough to unlock things and do things. Like you have full access to everything, and
yeah.
not everything is going to be for you right now. Maybe you don't
Hmm.
need this. Maybe you need this over here. So
Hmm.
nothing's I don't gatekeep, right? All the information is there. You ask me a question, you're going to get an actionable answer today or tomorrow or whenever, right? Like it's not like tune in next week or earn your way up here. Uh, Nothing like that. But in the same breath, what you were saying about, Jay's way, that way. There's people out there who maybe don't. You and I could say the same thing, but people
Hmm.
don't like the look of me, or they like looking at you better, or they like your delivery, or they
Hmm.
hate the sound of my voice, right? And
Yep, yep,
that is totally okay.
yeah.
I've learned to not take offense or anything like that. It's just what it is, right? We all have our favorites, and
Yeah.
that's is what it is. So
Yeah, I equate it to like when you go to school and everybody has like a different favorite teacher, right? Like somebody can kind of just like you
mhm.
resonate with a teacher, and that might not be everybody's favorite teacher, but that worked for you because they kind of talked in a way that you liked, or like there was a connection or whatever. So
Yeah, it just
I
made
think
it
it's valid.
click. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think this is great. Thanks so much, Jay. I like what you're doing. And thanks for doing the 7 day free for the subscribers. I'll put that in the link here. So everybody, if you have questions for Jay, leave that in the comments as well. Because like you said, we couldn't have gone over everything, but I think you kind of get a feel for what this is. But if you have any questions, leave that in the comments.
I will
Thanks.
absolutely get to them
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much for being on, Jay. This has been great.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. You're the legend here, so I'm just humbled. Appreciate it.
No worries, man. We're gonna have to have you back again in less than a year. So no, we're not gonna wait another 2 years to do this, and we'll definitely have you on more often. Um, Thanks again. I can't say enough about like this. I'm definitely gonna be talking to you in the future, of course, as well. So thanks for being on, man.
Oh yeah, well, one thing I forgot to say,
Oh
right, is
yes.
that Juna is actually every other month in my membership,
Oh
which
yeah.
is huge. Along with, we got Philip Anders in there doing some AI stuff.
Hmm.
Humble plug at the end there, right? Selfless plug.
Yeah.
Hannah for Profit Trees in there. We've had Anthony from eRank, got Cody from Everbee. People
Yep.
talking the talk. Like I said, I'm letting the experts share their expertise. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I'm scheduled to be in August. So this next
yep,
month, I think we're gonna do
yep.
another one.
And we just
Don't
had
know.
Philip
Yeah, this month, right?
Wednesday. Yeah, 2 days
Yeah,
ago. Yeah,
yeah. We're kind of
cool.
switching out, even Philip and I. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Well, this has been awesome. Thanks for being on my channel, and I hope everybody, including us, has a great Q4. So see you later, man.
Take care.